Welcome to episode 32 of the Wiley Wire. We're going to talk about Iran, give you an update. We're also going to talk about a very strange and bizarre claim by MTG about President Trump. Spirit Airlines has closed. Our WTF and some hero students that saved a bus driver and the students on the bus. We'll also give you an update on the Minnesota fraud and Ilhan Omar. Welcome to the Wiley Wire. I'm going to do an Iran update. I've been doing a lot of research on it, reading a lot of things and listening to a lot of ex-CIA agents and people that have given their take on it. And a lot of the consensus is that getting rid of the nuclear weapons was a great thing. The way this is going down isn't the best strategy. I think most of the people that I've listened to have been saying that. But they've also said on a positive note that if we can get a deal by beginning of June, end of this month, things should be okay and the economy's going to be great. Things are going to flourish, but everything's going to be great. But if we don't, by the end of June, and the straits are still closed by us, the blockade and all that, things are going to have to go a different direction. I don't know what that direction is, but there is a timeline. So it looks like maybe Iran's waiting on that timeline. It's almost like a sanction on the rest of the world, the U.S., by just not cooperating. A deal needs to be done for this all to take place, but I don't know what the second option is. Take the straits, completely take it over. And then you got the Lebanon crisis that not a lot of people are talking about, that every day there's just constant strikes in Lebanon all over. And no one really knows the real reasoning behind that. There's theories, but it's not us doing it. Israeli forces are doing it for their benefit. I don't know what that benefit is. I know there's Hamas there. I guess that's their terrorist enemy, obviously. But a lot of reports are showing that there's a lot more casualties happening. So I can't verify any of those reports. Those are just reports I'm reading. I can't verify if this is a good thing or a bad thing. I'm just reporting on it. I'm hoping for the best. I hope that the Trump administration, even though I hear a lot of reports that the advisors were all against this, I can't see how all the advisors were against this and Trump just went ahead and did it. I'd be very surprised about that. I think some of his advisors obviously wanted to do this. So I'm not one person to say that this was a bad idea, this is a good idea, because I'm not in the inner circle. And most of the people that are giving their insight are super qualified, but they're not in the inner circle. They're given broad perspective. So maybe there's something that we don't know. Obviously, there probably is. And we're just waiting to kind of see the last chapter of this. A lot of the economic strategists have said that it's got to end by the end of June or the economy is going to take a huge hit. One thing that I read was the railroads from China are getting bombed just to show China, like, don't send stuff to Iran. Obviously, railroads can be rebuilt really quick. But there's something else going on a little bit outside of what you're hearing. If you just do a deep dive and read a bunch of articles, you're going to find some that are good. You're going to find some that are bad. You're going to find some that are super extreme and you really can't take it as truth. but it's good to have all the perspectives. I'm just hoping for the best. Another thing I want to cover is this MTG video that's going around. And I'm going to play it in a second here, but she talks about President Trump sending her a text that if her son dies, it's her fault. And then she says, if I release the text, I'll probably go to jail. But it's like, you already released the text. You said what the text read, and it was from President Trump. What's the difference if you release it? You can screenshot a text message, doctor it all up, and show it. It's no different than your statement. Your statement's you saying it. Your statement is you're saying he said that. So I'm not saying she's lying. I don't know. You didn't show the text. She said she can't show the text because she'll get arrested, but you basically said he did it anyways. So that's definitely a lawsuit if it's not true. So that was baffling to me. And I don't know enough about MTG to go down the, I like her, I don't like her. She seemed to be a pro-American woman, successful businesswoman. Don't know too much about her other than that she was, around Trump a lot. When she got elected, she was, praising Trump all the time. She did some good things in Congress. She got a great bill passed that a lot of Democrats voted for as well, that she didn't think would get passed. You can look it up. It had to do with our kids and indoctrination and all that. And I think like 3 or 4 Democrats voted for it, got the bill to pass. So she crossed aisles to get it done. Most people said the bill would never pass. So she's done some good things. I don't know much about her as far as like who she is as a person. Like I always say, don't fall in love with these politicians. They're just people just like me and you. And people like attention. People do things for clicks. Not saying she did this for clicks, but it was a wild statement. And then she made fun of Kash Patel, saying, what is he on? Is he on something? So there's a lot of slander going on in it. I don't know if she has proof of all that. And she's just saying read between the lines. But the view on Trump and the text message she said he sent her is pretty wild. So I'm going to roll this clip and then I'm going to follow up and talk about it after. But here's a clip from MTG when she was at a speaking event.
None. I sent them to all these people. I got no response from Susie Wiles. None. And she's a mother and a grandmother and a woman. I got no response from James Blair because he only cares about making money on campaigns. I did hear from Kash Patel. He said on it, but I haven't heard from him since. I don't know what he's on. J.D. Vance was very nice to me, compassionate and kind, and reassured me that he would do everything we could to find out what's going on. And then I heard back from Donald Trump. And I've saved these text messages. I'd probably get put in jail if I released them publicly, but I saved them. Where Donald Trump proceeded to tell me that it was my fault and that I deserve it. If my son gets killed, I deserve it because I was a traitor to him. That is our president of the United States. That's the man that says MAGA is whatever he wants it to be.
So listening to that, it's so eye-opening. I was like wowed by it. That's a huge allegation. Now, she's saying she can't release the text messages, like I said before the clip, because she'll get arrested. But you basically just release the text message by saying what Trump texted you. So you did release it. Why don't you just show it at this point? Because it's already out there. I mean, if he didn't send that, you're going to get sued. If he did send that, can show it in your defense. So I'm blown away by the whole thing, to be honest with you. I find it hard to believe that the President of the United States would send that message, especially the way she described it, just in general. Like, one of my worst enemies, I wouldn't be like, hey, if your son dies, it's your fault. Like, the way she said it, I mean, I need to see the message now. You gotta release it. She's definitely gonna get sued, if I had to guess. Trump sues everyone for everything. If he didn't write her that text message, or the text message was described differently than she's saying, then either way, it's not good. So if you're going to come out and say he sent you that message, you got to show it, or don't say anything at all. Maybe she slipped up. Maybe she had it and she's holding it hostage. Who knows? But I didn't find it to make any sense by saying I'll get arrested if I release it. You already said what it supposedly said. So either way, you're in trouble now. If it's true, you're probably going to be arrested, like you said, or if it's false, you're going to get sued, or both. So I think she should just release it, so we're not wondering, what did the text message actually say? How long was it? What did it, from top to bottom, how did it read? So I don't know. It was very bizarre. As far as, politicians, I say this all the time. Don't fall in love with the politicians. Policies are the main thing. Like a lot of back in the day, like you'd always hear like, he's such a good looking guy, or he's, you'll hear like stuff. I remember the one guy, he was a Texas nominee. He was like riding a skateboard. He's like, oh my God, he rides a skateboard. Everyone's so excited about it. It's like, who cares if he rides a skateboard? Who cares if he's good looking? Who cares if she's good looking? What are the policies? If the policies are good, that's the starting point. Vote for that person for the policies, and then hold them accountable if they don't follow through with the policies. And I watch this banter back and forth, like speaking tours and saying that Trump sent you a text message that if your son dies. That's crazy. Again, I'm not saying she's lying. I'm not saying that Trump did send her that. I don't know. She's claiming that. But it made no sense to me saying that she'd get arrested if she releases it. Is it confidential information? I don't think so, because she was probably already out of the government at that time. Again, when was it sent? All that stuff. A lot of it's just, I guess, getting people to talk about it. But if it isn't true, or it's out of context by a lot, she's probably going to get sued now for saying that. So if I'm MTG, I'd release a text message. Her policies, to me, were good. I wasn't voting for her because I'm not in Georgia, but I've read some of her policies. They seem pretty good. I don't know her as a person. I don't know too much about her. I just know she's a successful businesswoman, has a construction company, I think, is pretty well off. So I don't know. Other than that, that's about all I know. She resigned from Congress. She didn't agree with what Trump was doing with the Epstein files. She's claimed that she's also gotten calls from President Trump that he's just not going to release some of it or not going to talk about it anymore because people he knows are going to get hurt. This is what she's saying President Trump said. So again, she's not releasing the text messages. That's hearsay. I'm not saying she's lying, but to come out with hearsay and no proof is almost like clicks and likes. This particular statement is blaring. It's eye-opening. It's crazy. One of my worst enemies I wouldn't even bring up, like if your son dies. Like that's just crazy to me. I'm not saying she's lying. Again, I'm not saying that Trump did that. I don't know. I'm obviously just like you. I hear things, I see things, I read things, and I do my best to find out if it's true. I even made sure that video that I played was an AI. I had to make sure because I was so blown away by it. So I don't know what's going to happen with this. I'm sure Trump's going to do something or say something about it, but that's an alarming allegation. And then she seemed to accuse Kash Patel of saying, I don't know what he's on. She said nice things about JD Vance. I don't know what's going on, but we'll be back with our next segment. I want to talk more about this Ilhan Omar fraud conspiracy. It's not really a conspiracy. It's just a matter of how much was she involved in this. Obviously, she was overseeing it. It's a Somali community. She's Somalian. Most of the fraud went on in Minnesota, was part of the Somalian community that lives there. That's not racist. That's not being a bigot. That's just the facts. I have nothing against any race or religion as long as they're a good person. I don't really care what their religion is or what their skin pigmentation is. It doesn't matter to me as long as they're a good person. I know a lot of people have the same skin pigmentation as me and I don't like. So it has nothing to do with race by any means. But back to Ilhan Omar and the Somalian fraud. It's to the point now where indictments are happening, but it keeps going back to her. And if she's involved in it, just indict her. She has till today to go to Congress and respond to Congress about testifying on the fraud. But the restaurant that she had most of her campaign events at, a lot of them, I wouldn't say most, but a lot of them, the guy was indicted for the Feeding America $250 million scam. So he was indicted. She was holding her campaign events at his restaurant. He was a part of the Feeding America for $250 million. He's been indicted. Now it's kind of trickling up to Ilhan Omar and how much she was involved in it. Did she know anything? She had most of her campaign events there. This guy owned the restaurant, was part of the Feeding Our America scam act for $250 million. So there's definitely reason to believe that she knew something. Now, the fact that she's ignoring Congress, I haven't got the update at this point when I'm recording this if she's actually agreed to come and testify. I doubt she will. But at the same time, Tim Walz and her had to have known what was going on and looked the other way. Too much fraud. Taxpayers in Minnesota are paying a ton of money on this. Federal taxes were also being paid on this. So it's absolutely a joke. But like I said last episode, indict her. And if she's not able to be indicted, then just leave her alone. I hate the political playing around for politics. If she did something wrong, indict her. If the investigation's still going on, let the investigation go on. And if she gets indicted, she gets indicted if she did something wrong. But getting pulled into Congress, I get it, but it's not for the better of the people. It's not what the people want. People don't want her to have to go to Congress and sit there and answer questions and so everyone gets their social media moment. What people want is her to get indicted if she did something wrong. What people want is for politicians that are abusing tax dollars to get indicted. That's what the people want. So to make this like a political show and all that, it's such a waste of time when they do that and then nobody gets indicted. I've seen so many of these where people go up there, they sit there, they don't answer any questions because their lawyers tell them not to do it. And then you get the social media politicians that think they're celebrities now and they lay into them. They get their 5 minutes of fame or whatever. And it goes nowhere. So I'm calling for action. If she did something wrong, you probably know at this point. If you got investigators on it, feeding America $250 million fraud scam. One of the people was indicted already. She held campaign events at this guy's restaurant. If the writing's on the wall, I'm sure you know what it is. Make the indictments. But roll the clip of News Nation reporting on this. If anybody knows News Nation, they're center-leaning, not left, not right. They pretty much do a pretty good job at covering the news. All these news organizations have an agenda. Even when I put this show together, I wouldn't say an agenda, but I can only do so many stories. I also can only fact check so many of them. And at the same time, I rank the stories I think are the most important, that are the most trending, whether it's political, sports, health, whatever. And sometimes these news networks aren't covering the most trending news. They actually stay away from some of it.
Questions about a statewide child nutrition fraud scheme. The lawmakers are seeking Omar's written and electronic communications involving the state's Feeding Our Future program, which misused millions of dollars in taxpayer funds. State lawmakers specifically hoping to look at Omar's correspondence with the owners of the Safari restaurant. State lawmakers point out Omar was a regular at that restaurant, staging many campaign events there. Its owners recently pleaded guilty for their role in the $250 million fraud scheme. Now, Omar's team and allies have largely framed allegations trying to link her to fraud as politically motivated and not substantiated. But for more on this, we are joined by Minnesota State Representative Kristen Robbins tonight. She is the chair of the Minnesota House Fraud Prevention and State Oversight Committee, also a candidate for Minnesota governor. Appreciate you being here today and sharing your perspective. And I know we're fast approaching this Tuesday request for Congresswoman Omar here. If she doesn't respond by this deadline, what is your committee's move on Wednesday morning?
We hope she will respond. She certainly owes it to Minnesota taxpayers and families to respond to our questions. And so I'm still hoping, but if not, the committee will examine all our options and we will continue to press for it because she created the program, the Meals Act, that took the guardrails off the school nutrition program that created the conditions for all this fraud.
The first quarter, which is there he is.
Oh my gosh.
He's already starting to move now down the backside. He was 5 or 6 behind the last horse. Great ground saving trip by Jose Ortiz. Sometimes when you're that far back, Mike, that everybody makes their decision already and you're left a lot of open lanes. Now he'll shift him out as he knows he's going to run into trouble if he doesn't, and he takes aim on his brother. And what a tremendous kick by Golden Tempo.
That's a lot of ground to make up in the stretch of the Kentucky Derby. He's 7 or 8 lengths back at the top of the stretch still.
The numbers on how far he ran are going to be amazing, right? Wow. And this is the pedigree of this horse. He has been dead last or second to last in almost every race he's run, but made a charge like this at a moment like this. A historic moment, Nick Luck. truly, Mike.
Golden Tempo wins the Kentucky Derby. One of the greatest Kentucky Derbies I've ever watched. I'm not a diehard horse racing fan. I do watch all the Kentucky Derbies. It's on my bucket list to go. It's one of the most cherished and historic horse racing events. It's a who's who event. Everyone's there. It's a great, great event. And having it go down the way it went down, Golden Tempo comes all the way last to first to win it, closes a crazy amount of distance. I've never seen that before in that short a period of time to win it. And the cool thing about it is this was such an underdog. The owner of the horse is the first female ever to win the Kentucky Derby. It's just such a great story. And when we roll out of this segment, I'm going to play the camera footage of her watching the race in real time, seeing Golden Tempo go from last to first. And it was just an amazing, amazing Kentucky Derby. I'm sure a lot of people lost a lot of money that didn't bet on Golden Tempo, but even the horse that finished second, I think the group that was next to Golden Tempo's group thought they won, and they were like both cheering. And then they had to realize that they didn't win. It probably took a while for them to realize that. But Golden Tempo, what a race. What a Kentucky Derby. In my opinion, the greatest Kentucky Derby I've ever watched.
As they arrive into the final furlong, O'Sally is also gaining ground on the far outside as they come to the last 16th of a mile. The non-permanent front, O'Sally, the new blood shot, Renegade and Golden Tempo are closing two. Here's Golden Tempo, and Serena Moore made history in the Kentucky Derby on the Renegade in a final time of 2:02.27 seconds. The first female trainer to win the Kentucky Derby.
I want to talk about these hero kids. They were on a bus coming home from school, and the bus driver had an asthma attack, was losing consciousness. The bus was basically no driver, was just flying. And these kids came to the rescue. I think it was 5 or 6 of them. One girl helped the teacher get her medicine because you could see that she was reaching for it. And the other kid was able to stop the bus while one was steering it. It was like something out of a movie. If you remember that Sandra Bullock movie where the bus is like, can't control it anymore. It was probably similar to that scenario. And these kids came to the rescue. And a lot of times these days, you know, older teenagers you see, it's mostly negative attention. You don't hear a lot of good stuff out there. And these are obviously younger kids, but it's just good to see. There are a lot of great kids out there. They're not all robbing and mugging people. And these kids are true heroes. Kudos to them being brave. And it just shows that the generation coming up may be better than we think, as these kids sure showed it. Roll the clip of the hero children on the school bus that helped slow the bus down and also attend to the bus driver.
Taylor was driving her usual route through Hancock County, Mississippi Wednesday afternoon with a bus full of students when she had an asthma attack and lost consciousness.
She kind of sort of like fell over, like flopped over, and everyone started like standing up.
Here in the school bus surveillance video, you can see 5 students jumping into action, working as a team to stop the bus and save the bus driver.
I saw that the bus was veering off to the side, then I grabbed the wheel.
It's 6th grader Darius Clark who hits the brakes.
And the bus started rolling forward. It started to like gain speed, so whenever I clicked the brakes, it about threw me out the windshield.
8th grader Kaylee Clark called 911 while classmate Destiny Cornelius administered medicine to Taylor.
I saw her medication in her hand and I saw like her reaching for it. I knew that's what she needed.
Watch all 5 working together until first responders arrive.
I can't thank these students enough for saving.
I'm going to talk about this Spirit Airlines abrupt closure. Kind of threw everybody off. No one saw it coming. They requested a bailout. They were denied, and they literally shut down the next day. And so many travelers were left scrambling, trying to get new tickets for their vacation plans or their travel plans. Very unfortunate for them. And you know how it is trying to get a refund from an established airline, let alone one that's basically shut down overnight. Good luck tracking that down. I feel bad for the people that lost money and have to basically go in their pockets again to continue with their travel plans. But let's talk about Spirit Airlines. It's one of the worst airlines you could possibly fly, by far. When it first came out, I remember you fly to like Fort Myers for like $30 and walk on the flight with your pajama pants on, and you look like you rolled out of bed half drunk. It got worse and worse, but the prices went up and up. So I don't know how Spirit Airlines actually went out of business. And if you've flown Spirit, the initial price looks great. Then after a while, you're like crammed in a seat. You're 5'7", your knees are still hitting the other seat. For an upgrade, you're spending another $100. They charge you for crackers. It's like nothing's free. And bag fees are outrageous. By the time you're actually done and out the door at the checkout, you might as well just book Delta or United or one of the more established airlines, because you're paying about the same anyways. You're not really saving. And then if you look up flights on airlines, Spirit Airlines comes up like 50% of the time on social media. Absolutely brutal, some of these fights. These people look like they're deranged half the time, half drunk. They're probably on drugs. You don't know. Who knows? But just flying in general over the last, call it 15, 20 years has really gotten bad. You're seeing so many more people lose their minds on fights, and it's gotten to the point where I don't know what they have to do, but some people that are getting on these flights should not be getting on commercial flights. Number one. I don't know how you really check that. I guess the TSA, you're checking bags, but are you really checking the individual? The lines are already way too long. But people nowadays, they pop drugs before they get to the airport, or who knows what they're on. But you're seeing some wild stuff on social media. So good riddance, Spirit Airlines. And I'm going to roll this clip on the way out.
What? Come on. What are you doing, baby? Come here. What? What's that? Check your bubble butt out. What's up, bitch? It ain't no shit. What? What's up? You want to get up? What's up, bitch? What's up, bitch? Go, chill. What's up, bitch? What is wrong with you? I'm not talking to you, you talking shit, bitch. You do a motherfucking thing.
The Wily Wire segment where Brandon asks, "What the fuck is this?"
I'm the boss of Fox Weather. Like, I run that network. I'm a celebrity around all of it, but no one knows me.
Jason Hermes is the Vice President of Content Sales and Partnerships for Fox Weather under Fox News Media.
So between me and the President of Ad Sales is Jeff Collins, and he reports to Lachlan Murdoch, who's Rupert Murdoch's son.
Hermes admits to using the Fox corporate company credit card for thousands of dollars at strip clubs.
You could take this, walk into a strip club, literally, spend $4,000, go into your corporate manager, and they would sign it and pay it off, and you'd be like, well, that's what the client wanted.
Like on Fox News?
On Fox, on NBC.
If we wanted to, like, you could.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, no one's going to say a word.
Okay. Openly boasting that they can just lie on the expense reports. potentially violating U.S. federal tax codes, committing wire fraud, and violating Fox's standards of business conduct.
Would you do this like just with like hosts or like?
No, we would just do it ourselves and lie it through the expense report. Cool. It's still like that.
That's pretty cool.
Because it's media. It's nobody's money.
My WTF for this episode is this Fox Corporation employee who was caught by James O'Keefe Media, one of his journalists. Typical way they catch somebody. I think they just do like the dating app thing. They go on a date, and this Fox Corporation employee just spilled the beans that he's uses company credit cards for strip clubs and all this entertainment, thousands of dollars for entertainment. And his manager writes it off as just, typical business entertainment. But basically, it's just him having a blast, partying it out, going to strip clubs, spending thousands of dollars, bragging to this girl who is undercover and filming it all. What an idiot. It's almost like, how could somebody that works for the Fox Corporation and a manager that's working for the Fox Corporation write this off and just let it go? I mean, you're making at least six figures, both of you guys, for sure. You don't know how much, but it's got to be at least six figures. You're able to have a company credit card and you just push the boundaries, and then you go and do something so stupid like this and then brag about it. So that's my WTF. I was blown away by this. Hopefully the employee was fired, and the manager was fired, because that's uncalled for. Writing off a strip club payment on the company credit card, and this idiot's going out and bragging about it to people he just meets. He can't even make this stuff up. We'll be back with the wrap. Thanks for watching episode 32 of The Wiley Wire. Follow us, like us, share us at The Wiley Wire. Also, check out our reels on TikTok, Instagram, short clips from episodes. We can always use a like, always use a share. Thanks for watching. Thanks for staying wired, and we'll see you on Friday.
The Wiley Wire dives into sports, music, politics, health, and trending topics for entertainment, info, and education. Listener discretion advised. May include mature themes, explicit language, controversial views, or sensitive content. Not suitable for under 18 or all audiences. Parents, please supervise. All opinions from hosts, guests, and contributors are personal and don't reflect our official views. Information isn't guaranteed to be accurate. Do your own research and consult qualified professionals.